thought I'd make another video going over what I see as being the advantages to reading with playing cards rather than tarot cards. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. I think that's pretty good. Let that camera, there we go. One advantage that I see to reading with playing cards as opposed to tarot cards is that with most tarot decks, except the Tarot of Marseille, all the cards have pictures on them. And the pictures tell you quite a bit about what the artist wants you to think about when you see that card. So like right here we've got the Five of Pentacles, poverty, people being out in the cold, out in the snow, and right outside of a church. And of course here we are on Christmas time, or getting close to Christmas time, and we're thinking about, seeing this card and thinking about beggars in the street, seeking help. They're right outside a church, and it just looks depressing. It looks cold, it looks dark, and it's just not a very happy card. Now, if you are reading from playing cards, you don't get that idea planted in your head. Instead, what you get is the number and the element of the suit. And that gives you the freedom to come up with your own divinatory meaning. For example, here 5 means change, means expansion, means growth, and diamonds, they relate back to the suit of Pentacles, and diamonds can be taken as meaning wealth, money, the material world. So here we see with the 5 of diamonds, a message could be interpreted as being a gain of material wealth, which is a pretty happy, idea, pretty nice idea, as opposed to this card here, which pretty much says you're out on your ass in the snow. Of course, there are other ways that you can interpret that. 5 here, 5 means change, and here we see people out in the street. It could be interpreted in a more positive way, as these people are going to go inside to the church, they're going to seek help, they're going to get help, and they're going to be able to turn their life around, depending on what the next card is. So, yeah, you can interpret that more broadly and more positively, but it does kind of precondition your mind to think in terms of lack and poverty, and in my opinion, that's just not the natural meaning of the playing card, 5 of Pentacles, or 5 of Diamonds. It can mean this, but it doesn't necessarily have to. And what I like about reading with playing cards is that you have the freedom to interpret the card in the way that makes sense to you. You can use your intuition, allow the card to speak to you, and then tell your client what you see in the card, and not what some artist drew in the card. Now, don't get me wrong, I like using tarot cards. I love the art in all the tarot decks that I have. But if you go by the picture, if you go by just the artwork alone, your reading is going to be restricted. The interpretation that you give to the card is going to be restricted. Now, operating with playing cards, you have a lot more freedom. It's not as fun because you don't have the pictures to look at. But once you learn your numerology and the meaning of the elements, it can be a lot of fun, and it gives you a lot of freedom in your interpretation. Now, let's go with another. I got 2 more cards I wanted to show and demonstrate here. This is a nasty looking card. I mean, every time this card comes up in a reading, and I'm reading for somebody, I can sense that they're thinking, oh my, what's going to go wrong now? This is the Nightmare card, the Nine of Swords, which corresponds to, in playing cards, the Nine of Spades. And here, I mean, it's like somebody is worried, somebody is upset, somebody is sleepless, and my God, they just don't know what the heck they're going to do. You don't have to give that card that meaning. I mean, again, 9, numerology, means attainment. You know, what you've received, getting what you've earned. It can be taken in a negative way, like if you've been spending a lot of time worrying about something, then yeah, you're going to have a lot of negative energy. But you can put this in a more positive way. Like, what if your client has been putting a lot of mental effort into writing a play, writing a piece of music, writing a love letter, thinking about a new project at work, and they've been putting a lot of positive mental energy into that pursuit. Then this can take on a very happy meaning. It can mean, okay, you've put a lot of mental effort into that project, and now you're about to have your hard work pay off in a very positive way. So again, the playing card, you can interpret it in a way that is negative if your intuition tells you to give it a negative spin, or you can interpret it in a very positive way. And here, when you got this card staring you in the face, and your client is staring at that card and wondering, you know, what the heck did I do wrong now? It's kind of hard to give that a positive spin. So, again, that's why I kind of like the playing card method as opposed to the standard tarot card method. And then finally, the last Nightmare card. This is nasty. I mean, it just looks nasty. It's not necessarily a nasty card in and of itself. What it means is 10 of Swords. Swords equals thought. 10 equals it's over. Completion. You know, it's over. He's dead, Jim. It just means end of cycle. If you want to put it in a very neutral way, you can say it's the end of the old cycle, and now you're ready to begin a new cycle. And again, you look at the playing card, the 10 of Spades. Spades relate to swords, and swords relate to the realm of thought. 10 is completion. So, I mean, you don't really have to be showing your client a card showing a guy that's been stabbed in the back 10 times with 10 swords. Instead, just have this card and you say, okay, your project is nearing completion. It's now complete. You've put in a lot of time on this particular pursuit. Now it's time to wrap it up and go on to the next project. And, I mean, you can give it, again, a very positive spin, or you can give it a very negative spin, like, oh my God, you can say like a woman breaking up with her husband or breaking up with her boyfriend, and you can say, yeah, it's time to end this relationship. I know it's hard, but yeah, it's time to say goodbye and close that chapter of your life, as hard as it might be, and move on into the rest of your life and just start things over again. So you can take it negatively, you can take it positively. Just listen to your intuition and let it speak. So that's why I like using both, actually. But when it comes to doing readings anymore, where I want to have a lot more freedom, I've gotten to the point where I just use playing cards. And that I find that the playing card interpretation, it just gives my mind more freedom and my intuition a lot more freedom to just, you know, look at the card, and say, okay, numerology, world of numbers, what are you trying to tell me in relation to this question? And elemental attribution, the element of earth, coins, diamonds, what are you trying to tell me? Speak to me. And you have a lot more freedom to just let the card speak for itself without having an artist predetermine or prejudge the message that that card is going to give you. And it's just a lot of freedom in using this method. But I also understand that tarot cards are fun, and I like using both. But again, it just kind of depends on my mood. Am I in a mood where I want an artist to tell me what I should be seeing in the card? Or am I of a mood and of a spirit where I am willing to listen to spirit and just let my intuition speak to me without being sidetracked by art? So there you have it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I've got a book in the works that will be coming out in the end of January, by the end of January, called Everyday Divination, How to Read with Ordinary Playing Cards. And trust me, I'll be talking about this for quite some time. It's still in the works, but it's going to be available on Amazon by the end of January 2019, if not, hopefully a little sooner. But I'll keep you I'll keep in touch, let you know, and until later, you take care, have fun, and just keep reading those cards. Thanks a lot.